Good morning.
Good morning. Happy Monday. Yeah. Good morning. I had 2 giant tumblers of coffee already. I'm stoked to be here.
This is going to be one of those days where we power through and like we act like we're like feeling great and everything's cool and everything is cool. Everything's wonderful. But just last minute, just run around, whatever.
Well,
but, hey,
I will say that's on Eric. Eric has to do the running around.
Can I start with one thing for Jane? Jane's with us, right?
Yeah, Jane's with us.
That's never a red card, Jane. That's never a red card.
Never a red card.
Never. Thank goodness they won.
Come on.
That's never a red. Amy knows exactly what we're talking about. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I'm assuming I know what you're talking about, but no, the actual play I did not. Good morning. I missed a few of you. Gary, Tracy, Gary Wandering, anybody that I may have missed, we're happy to have you here. Those of you that are watching that aren't able to text in and join us. Good morning, Janet. Janet, Chico. So excited today. This is I will say, first of all, Eric's not been feeling great. We're going to get him to the doctor. I'm going to make him go. So it's been a little slow going. So he's the one powering through. I'm caffeinated. I'm good, dressed.
But I'm fine.
My hair's in a clip. I'm good.
I need a haircut.
I'm prepped and ready. Look what I got. I got water in my Diet Coke cup, and I got actual Diet Coke. So these are my mugs for the day. Yes. What were we getting ready to say?
Do mugs.
I'm gonna do mug. Well, that was my mug. It's a Diet Coke mug. And I have an actual Diet Coke can, actually filled with Diet Coke. The other Diet Coke is filled with water because you know me, I choke a little bit. What?
I'm gonna mess with our format a little bit today. I want you to go to wishes right off because Jim can't stay with us long.
Oh, okay.
So go to wishes right away, and then I have breaking news, and then we'll get into it.
Okay, hang on.
Do it.
Okay, so we have lots of wishes going on today. We usually do this toward the end, but there's a reason we're going to do it a little bit earlier today. So first of all, Mike and Amy, see, I told you I need more water. Mike and Amy are going to be doing our new homeowner orientation on a Wednesday. So excited for them. Built a beautiful home out with Dream Finders in the hills in Mineola Village, Mineola Hills. That's it. Out with Dream Finders, going to be doing their new homeowner orientation this week. Steve and Lisa, so excited. It's so funny because I've never called them Steve and Lisa. My brother's name is Steve. His wife's name is Lisa. Not the same people at all, but I've never played the names that way. So I was like, Steve and Lisa, why do you put Steve and Lisa in here? And then I'm like, oh, it's because I refer to it as Lisa and Steve. No offense with whose name goes first. Deb and Steve, super excited to see them later on this afternoon as well. Seeing Steve and Lisa as well as Deb and Steve this afternoon. And another Steve. Boy, it's a day of Steves. Steve and Luana actually contracted on a home. These are repeat clients of ours. So excited. Got them a beautiful home right around the corner here in Disney's backyard. Beautiful, beautiful,
and
beautiful.
Mike Walters, your name is now Steve.
And yeah, I know. It's like literally I'm going, look, I wrote a sticky note. I'm like, Steve, like what the heck with all the Steves? I actually had to sit here, and even though I've had 2 tumblers of coffee, and when I say tumbler, I don't mean like a small cup. I mean like the tumbler that's like that big.
Okay, anyway. This is the random stuff that we specialize in. You ready?
Wait, I haven't finished. Okay.
Well, no, you go back. It's okay. This is the random stuff we specialize in. The movie Inside Man. Denzel Washington, Jodie Foster. Yeah. So good. And all of the bad guys refer to themselves as Steve, Steve-O, Stevie. So that's what it just came to me. So that's my random thing. So go watch Inside Man if you haven't watched it before. It's really, really good. It's a Spike Lee joint. And now you can switch to your...
Okay, so we also had this week, this is just so much fun. So Dawn and Rich closed on their beautiful home. So excited for them. Was at their closing. That's there on the right. There in front of us is Etienne. And let me just tell you, so... Yolanda, yeah, that is a friend and a relative. Absolutely. So Yolanda built a beautiful home with Madame and unfortunately had some health issues, wasn't quite able to get here for like new homeowner orientation or for closing. And so with the miracle of technology and this little thing called a power of attorney, Etienne was able to sign on Yolanda's behalf. So closed efficiently and effectively on their home. And what's fun is that Etienne was already a client of mine before. So the fact that they're related and it's all in the family. And what a joyful moment after that closing. Etienne and I went outside, I think it was after, outside and FaceTimed Yolanda. So we got to share the great news that she's officially a homeowner. And thanks to all that were involved in making that one happen. You know, it's very, very difficult building a home from distance and going through all of the time stamps that you have to. And then throw into it that you live out of state, and throw into it that that you've got some health issues that allows you to not travel. So anyway, that was a wonderful, joyful closing. And then other things that just make our heart so happy is when our clients, so Jim and Cheryl, like, let me just tell you, we say this all the time. Jim is here with us almost all the time here on Coffee Time. Built a beautiful home out in Ridgeview. We have featured his fantastic home multiple times. He's the one that has that crazy awesome garage and the fancy cars. And now, in addition to all of that, they have finally completed, and I'm guessing it's 100% complete, Jim. Have you been in it yet? Their new pool. And again, just so stinking excited. They are absolutely, we aspire to be like them, to be able to enjoy quiet moments and loud moments, enjoying living where we live here, close to Disney, close to the attractions, being able to kind of, I don't know, take that new construction home and add those things to it and really, really, really make it a part of your quality of life. I hear something happening.
Side of the counter, and you may hear some whining behind you.
Yes.
And normally that would irritate me because that little cur is annoying.
Daisy Jane.
However,
now the dogs are barking. Daisy's birthday is today, the official dog of Disney's backyard. We named her that. Daisy Jane is 1 year old, and we are super excited. Oh, there she is. Hey, Daisy. Look, there's something exciting going on over there. So, Daisy is, I'm sure you all know, you followed along our journey with us, but Daisy is a miniature Australian Shepherd. She graduated from her puppy training class and her second class, and she doesn't do any of it. She still jumps on people and she still whines and barks, but she can do really good with touch. Daisy, touch. Daisy, touch.
It occurs to me, though, that that's irritating to me is that she doesn't bark with an Australian accent, which is annoying. Bark, bark. That would be funny.
That would be
Although
hysterical.
Australian Shepherds are French, so it's all very confusing.
Okay, well, anyway, well, it's Daisy's birthday, so I already gave them some new toys this morning. We were up a little early. I took the dogs up with me to the media room. That's kind of our morning routine. I try to let Eric sleep a little bit because he tends to get up a couple times with them in the middle of the night. And so I gave Daisy, and well, I mean, I know it's Daisy's birthday, but they all got a new toy. So anyway, got new toys celebrating Daisy's birthday. So again, we're going to get back to where we were. We kind of jumped way forward. Some of you have joined in. Kim, Geraint, who else? Tracy, anybody else? Laura, anybody else that may have popped in that I haven't said hello to yet? Rob, obviously, good morning to all of you. We appreciate you guys being here. All right, so we're going to get back to the regular part of the show. I know we skipped forward to wishes. We just wanted to make sure Jim was here to see how excited we are for them to have the beautiful pool and to have added all of these things. And by the way, I think that was the quickest pool build time. I think, what do you say, 4 months?
Yeah, something like that.
That's crazy. So obviously we are getting back to being better here with our timelines for everything new construction related. And that, of course, includes pools as well. All right, so let's go ahead and get to what's brewing so we don't think that it's the end of the show and I say goodbye because I'm out of whack now. Okay, so back to the normal scheduled programming. All right, we have our brewing topics for today. Is the slowdown over? Painting Spaces, not the TV show that was called Trading Places. Is that Trading Places?
Yes.
On HGTV?
Trading Spaces.
Trading Spaces, that's what it was. Trading Spaces on HGTV. I love that show. Anyway, and then That's My Job. So 3 different topics for today's coffee time. First one being is the slowdown over. So obviously, this wasn't the turtle that we saw yesterday.
No,
that's just a picture, stock photo. Okay. So yeah, it was funny. We were pulling into our community yesterday, and we saw another turtle, same spot.
One of those soft shell ones that look like dinosaurs and are.
Yeah, we always worry about them. Anyway, so is the slowdown over? So I think, candidly, no, but I have seen a pickup for sure. We've had some showing requests for some homes that have typically, like for some of the listings that have been a little bit slow going. We're starting to get a little bit more foot traffic. Eric actually held an open house. I was out with Deb and Steve the other day, and we did an open house for the big, beautiful home that has the bar. So he was there. It was yesterday, wasn't it? It was yesterday. Open house there. And candidly, there was quite a bit of foot traffic for that. And again, some of those that are having a little less foot traffic are starting to get some showing requests. So, is it over completely? No. Are we going to get back to super busy? I don't think so, because we're also hitting the traditionally slow period, which is, the holidays. Now, I know we're not there yet. I understand it's only August 19th. And for many of you, it's like that's still full-fledged in the middle of the summer. So I totally get it. But for all of those areas like Florida where school starts, we've already started. We've been a week into school now. People that are kind of moving during that time frame use that as a pinpoint as to when they want to be here or when they need to find a home. Not always, but in many cases. Anyway, and then as the holidays kind of approach, I would say, once we really hit November, December, it kind of gets a little bit slower. And then things again pick back up. But so is the slowdown over? I say that I'm seeing a little bit more interest, a little bit more activity. So I think over this probably for the next month and a half, we'll probably see an uptick in
like green shoots. Like if you had planted a field, you see little green shoots coming up.
Yeah, that's a good way to think about it. I think, Matt, probably for the next month and a half, if things stay kind of the way I'm seeing it now, that's probably a good indication that we're getting some more showings, a little bit more foot traffic. And then once we get a little bit closer to the holidays, who knows? I say that every year. And then for some reason, everybody's here in December. And I'm like, I just want to celebrate. I just want to be at my house. So, we really never know. And every single one of my clients when you are a seller, and in almost all cases, if I have you as a seller, at some point you were probably my client as a buyer. Not always, but in many cases. But as a seller, I always try to tell people that we can do everything on our side, except the one thing that matters, which is to create that buyer. Our goal is to make sure that one buyer that might be out there, or that 2 or that 10 or that 20 or that 100, however many buyers are out there that are looking for a property like yours, our job is to make sure that they know that property exists. And there are multiple ways to do that. Obviously, the multiple listing service is one of them. And there's so many other facets that we do. Coffee time, talking about it here, but the video that's constantly out there for people to see and are constantly getting views. And of course, all the third-party websites as well. So hopefully we'll get some good news with that. On that note, can I share the story now about Diamond Cove?
Do it in a minute.
Do it in a minute.
The only reason I'm saying go to the next story is because Daryl's here.
Daryl's here? Oh, okay. Well, then let me go to the next one. Okay, so the next one is, the next brewing topic is painting spaces. We're not talking about houses, guys. We are talking about parking spaces. The tradition here in Florida, and I'm sure in other parts of the country, although candidly, when I grew up, we did not get to paint our parking spaces at Cox High School. We did not. But thankfully, when we got here, my daughter Elizabeth and my son Dawson both got to paint their parking spaces at West Orange High School.
COX.
At COX, yes. And then Javon, we're so excited. Our best buds, Daryl and Jen, their son Javon is a senior now at Horizon High School. Keep in mind, Horizon High School is a relatively new school, so this is a tradition that's only happened for a couple years now.
Keep in mind, Javon is 7 years old.
Yeah, Javon is 7 years old.
He's not,
yes.
But he's supposed to be.
Yes, he's absolutely... I was going to say he's adorable, but see, now I can't say that because he's like this grown dude. So, yeah. Anyway, so Javon, we're so excited for you, bud. He got to paint his parking space. Love the idea that he came up with the soccer field and the track little logos there. And then just a couple of other snapshots. Oh, you added Elizabeth. I didn't see that. So if you look down the bottom left-hand corner, Elizabeth, the one who has beautiful Miss Elsie, many years ago, she painted it. And of course, if you don't recognize that, that is Boo's, that is the door from Monsters, Inc. And so we had t-shirts printed up that said Boo Crew. And I will tell you, and I'm sure Daryl and Jen and Javon probably, and Jazzy too, because I'm sure Jazzy was there probably helping. But I will tell you, absolutely one of the best days of my life was the painting of the parking space. It was just so much fun, and I know they feel the same. So congrats to all those seniors out there. Daryl has a comment. Oh, we got to go to Daryl. Hold on, I got to go all the way down. Wait, Daryl. It was a lot of hard work sitting in the shade taking pictures. Javon and Jennifer did all the work. I have to tell you though, isn't it fun? Like I remember with Elizabeth, like I took my, so I went back and I'm sure Jen, oh my gosh, Daryl, this is why she probably loved it too, is I remember the years of the dance studio, right? We're like sceneries and set design. I'd get out my graph paper because I know there's programs and stuff like that now, but I would get out that graph paper, all those projects and things that we would do. And that's what I remember doing with Elizabeth, trying to map it out, get the dimensions of the space, and then, measuring it out when we got there and painting everything. And it was absolutely fun. I love stuff like that. I'm not super artistic, but I can do stuff like that. And I'm sure Jen probably loved it too. She probably mapped it all out. Jen's here too? Yay, we're there she is. All right, so by the way, yes, she looks familiar. You know why that gorgeous woman looks familiar? And Daryl, you're handsome too, sorry. It's because Jen Ross is the owner of Let's Dance. So we've heard us talk about her and her program many, many, many times. So here we go. There we go. Look at Eric on cue with this. There is Jen right there. Oh, same picture, isn't that? Look, sure is. So she has Let's Dance. It's that wonderful dance program for the schools here and the kids here in this area, multiple elementary schools where she holds classes, as well as a couple of amenity centers as well in some of the communities. And I don't even know if she's got any openings anymore, but I love it because it's a perfect example of taking their passion and their purpose and their talent and sharing it with others in a really big way, but in a small community, if that makes sense. So love it. She actually had her first dance recital, not her first dance recital, but her first recital at Horizon High School. It got big enough, the program got big enough that she was able to hold it at actual theater like that. So
I love all of those people.
I know. And then Jen says, I told Jay, I'll forever love the memory of paint day. I know. Like seriously, I'm going to start crying, so I got to stop talking about it. But yeah, it's so fun. And again, it's not just Horizon High School. I know Windermere does it, West Orange does it. But we're focused here on Javon and his big day. So,
and not to make it a thing, but like, Susan Forrest is here now. Hi, Susan.
Great. Hey, Susan.
It's like everyone we love is around. Seriously, thank you for showing up at coffee time. Everybody, literally everybody. And it was never a red card, Jane. Never a red.
Yeah. Anyway, so congrats to all of those seniors. We are super excited for all of them. It really is. It's like that little what do you call it? Like you pass the torch type of a thing where I know, but there's something else. Anyway,
milestone.
No. I don't know, whatever, it doesn't matter. But what's really nice is that, they paint over the old ones and,
oh yeah,
and it's kind of like, okay, we're the new crew now, and they paint over it and it's their spot for the whole year. So we're excited, big things coming up for all those kids, and Javon, we're just so super proud. All right, I'm going to stop crying now. Okay, let's move on. What is our third topic? Oh, that's my job. What is my job again?
Hit it. Anytime you can include a little Conway Twitty in the morning.
Yeah, and by the way, and the next line of that is everything I do is because of you, to keep you safe with me. So here's where that comes from, and I don't know if Deb and Steve, if you guys are still watching, but this was inspired by you guys because we were out yesterday. It was yesterday, wasn't it? I swear sometimes I don't know what day it is. What's wrong?
No, it was Steve and Lisa.
Oh, Steve and Lisa.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yes.
A lot of Steves.
A lot of Steves. Dadgummit. Lisa and Steve. I have to say it that way because that makes more sense to me. Lisa and Steve. Yes, I'm sorry. We were out yesterday looking at quite a few homes. And Lisa, they're here sometimes on Coffee Time with us. And it's been a long haul, a long time that we've been talking and seeing homes. And they'll pop in town and we'll go see some homes. And we are getting to the finish line of being able to actually submit an offer. But it was just really, it was very unexpected. And it was interesting because Steve said that we were looking at a house that was a little bit less than what the top of their budget was, and it just caught me so off guard. He was so generous and sincere and said that he wanted to thank me for, being just as excited. I think I'm getting it right. Basically, just as excited and showing them homes that were under their top price point as I was with the other ones, even though for me, that would be a little bit less commission. And I literally was like, I didn't think of that. Like, that's my job, is to help you find your home.
That's what I do.
It's and it was just, it's not like a little toot of a horn or anything.
No, I demanded that you tell that story.
No, it was
it's
just
a good story.
And I literally had not thought of it. I mean, and we were standing in that house. It was a beautiful home, and it's still on their short list. And it's a difference in commission of something, but I didn't pay any attention to that because that's not what I'm in it for.
We always have to remind ourselves that real estate professionals have a wide range of reputation. And I happen to be married to the person that, like, she literally never thinks about any of that stuff. I think about it, but not to the point where we ever stop and go, well, let's do this or that. And it makes me think that there must be a lot of people out there that are having experiences where people are not doing that. And it makes me sad. But it makes me happy that they recognize that in you. And so I wanted you to tell that story.
Yeah, Lisa just popped up and she says that's exactly what Steve said. Yeah, it really did. That was just really sweet. And it just kind of caught me. I'm like, oh, well, yeah, like that.
And that made, by the way, Lisa and Steve, that made her day.
Yeah, it did. And then I got just Deb confused because she said yesterday was Sunday and we were furniture shopping. So yeah, I'm so sorry. There's so many Steves around. So I'm so
a few Debs.
And there's a few Debs. I know, right? You guys, y'all just really trying to challenge my brain. By the way, Allie, you are correct, my love. Rite of passage. That's what I was looking for. The painting of the spaces. Nice. Thank you. English major, writer, author extraordinaire. Yes, ma'am. That's exactly what I was looking for.
Push your Substack button. Can you find it? You see it there?
Yeah. I see it.
Allie, by the way, who has an agent, and you can visit her Substack at the thing on your screen.
Yeah. Oh, you know what we forgot to add?
What?
Well, it doesn't really matter. But just, I was so excited. I had a great Mimi moment. Can I tell you my Mimi moment? Yeah. I was called to duty. So excited.
Oh, yeah.
Allie went and got her hair cut. And so I got to go with her to get her hair cut and sit beside her and hold Easton the whole time. And oh my gosh, it was just wonderful. So I get to be on Mimi duty when we're at the house, but it was an actual outing. And I was so thrilled. I'm so excited. Anyway, all right. So we got through all of our brewing topics.
Let's do baby stuff since you're there.
Let's do baby stuff since we're there. Baby. Baby. Where's the baby?
I got it.
I can't find the babies. Okay, so photo time for the babies. So there's little Miss Elsie Mae. Look at those eyes, those killer big blues. Oh my goodness. And then we had a great day at Mimi and Poppy's. We had our first pool day at Mimi and Poppy's house. We had to look at Easton in the middle. Oh my God, he's so cute. I cannot stand the cuteness of these babies. I cannot stand it. So we had a little bit of a pool day. Elizabeth and Steele and Elsie were elsewhere. They had, it was Steele's birthday and Steele's dad's birthday. So they were doing a celebration with his family the same day that Allie and Hong brought Easton over to hang out with us for a few hours. And he's in a little like wetsuit looking thing. It's got like lifeguard and a little whistle kind of thing on it. And he had his glasses and his hat styling. He also got to go on the float for a little bit. We're just super excited.
Elsie's coming to the pool this coming week.
I do, yeah, because so next week on Monday time, it's going to be super exciting because my oldest son, Forrest, you guys know Forrest with crunching the numbers. Yeah, Forrest is coming on Friday. So Forrest is going to be here for the weekend to see his niece and nephew. I know he's been chomping at the bit to get here to see them before they keep growing up so big. So he's going to just hang out with us for the weekend, but he leaves on Monday. And I believe he's going to need to leave kind of during coffee time. So we're going to figure that out.
Okay.
But at any rate, he'll be here. So I think because he's coming in town, we'll do another pool day with everybody one day next weekend. So we'll share that fun, exciting times too. Oh, wait, look at what Kim said. Kim, you're brilliant. You should do a trivia contest or something, and the winner gets a signed copy of her book. All right.
We'll do it.
We will do it. Allie, jot that down. Elizabeth, jot that down.
I think so.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Oh, Ron says, gamma moments are so precious when we get to steal away the grand kiddos. So special. Can't wait for it to happen to you too. Aw, thank you, Rosemary. I know. I have to tell you, their family, remember that family, that picture at their house, at Ron and Rosemary's? Yeah. Like the most beautiful picture. And it was at Disney, right? It was at Disney, the whole family, the kids and the grandkids. I mean, that's what we hope and dream of, is to have something that just, for lack of a word, magical. Like, it's just amazing. So you guys are always an inspiration to us, for sure, Ron and Rosemary, 100%. We love that. Okay, so we did baby news. Can I move on to the other stuff now? Yeah. What would you like me to do next, dear?
You can scoop if you want. You got a lot of stuff.
I got a lot of stuff today. All right, let's do the scoop-de-doo. Scoop. Okay, so here's something interesting. So the other day, and I think we did that picture last week. It was a couple weeks ago, I guess. At this point, boy, time freaking flies. Flippity flip. We were at our friend Paul's house. He again was the one who hired us. What the flippity flip is going on, right? And Paul works for Universal. And just in our casual get together where Joe Holtman came in town and we got to meet up again. Daryl and Jen came, Jared Garrett came, some of our old friends. We got to meet some new friends. And he was just talking about that the attendance was down at the Universal parks. But, you know,
which surprised me. It surprised me a bunch because the vibe is that Universal is coming on strong.
Oh, yeah.
And I think they are, but he explained why.
Yeah, I think he did explain why. It's like, you know, a lot of people are like, well, if we're going to make a big Universal trip, why wouldn't we wait until next year, right? We could do Epic Universe, right? Yep. So that's going to be flippin' amazing. So if you had, if you were planning to go to Universal or do that kind of a vacation or that kind of a trip, I think it's probably understandable that maybe perhaps you would either postpone that till next year or maybe do other plans, maybe do this year as a Disney trip, and then maybe the next time you go to Universal. But interesting that they're down by 9.3% in their attendance at both of the parks. Again, not worrisome, not a scary thing. It's very much that we think it's because Epic Universe is going to come on and it's going to come on strong. Like, it's going to be a big deal.
The Disney parks were down, like Magic Kingdom was up like 3%. The other Disney parks were down a little bit each, but it's also just, we're settling back into the post-pandemic.
Yeah.
You know, during the pandemic, as we're coming out of the pandemic, we had a huge influx. So it's some of that too. But I think people saw that Universal number and were like, whoa, that's not good. But there's a real good reason for it. And just Paul had mentioned it to us before.
Yeah.
So, and he would know.
And he would know. And it was really interesting. So it's a good inside scoop there. I have to laugh real quick because Kim said, and seeing it was my idea to get a copy of the book too. Yes, ma'am. Of course. Allie, of course, says, haha, it might be a while. All right. So keep in mind when it comes to book publishing, she's received the, what is it, Allie? You've received the edits from the agent, and Allie's working on those. There's no real timeline on those, but it's Allie, so I'm sure it's going to be a priority. And then it kind of goes from there. So yeah, super excited about this. We're just super excited. Okay. Anyway, all right. What else do you want me to do, dear? Tell me what buttons to push.
You got all kinds of stuff. You got what you're watching. You got what's the word?
You know what? Let's do word. I think word is going to tie in really well because this goes back to my conversations with Lisa and Steve.
Oh, now come on, Amy, tell me what's the word.
Yeah.
Okay, so our word is actually 3 words. It's more of a phrase, quality of life. And I think it's really, really, really important to remember that and keep that in mind when you are looking for your new home, wherever your new home is. whether you're excited about your move, whether you're nervous about it, whether you've been, transferred or you're being relocated somewhere. Maybe you're not excited about it. Maybe it's not Florida and Disney's backyard. Wherever you go, and for whatever reason it is taking you there, life is taking you there, think about the quality of life. And I talk about this with all my clients, but specifically, yesterday, Lisa and Steve, we were talking because there's a couple of different houses and a couple of different options, each of which would provide them with something different. And I say this to all my clients. It's just most recently, I said this yesterday. When you start to think about the house, take a moment to step back from the numbers and from some of the, the fit and finish on the inside. Think about the quality of life. What is that house or that location or that floor plan going to allow you to enhance your quality of life? Sometimes you have a parent that needs to come live with you. So the quality of life is going to then flow over to their quality of life, which is then going to change your quality of life. Maybe there's a home that's perfect. Maybe it's a multi-generational concept home. And so your mother or father-in-law or mother or father are going to have this great space, and that's going to enhance their quality of life. And it's going to enhance yours because they'll have their own space. It could also be, my quality of life is always made better by going to Disney World. And if that's the case, just like, other people have done, it's about just kind of going, okay, well, so we had clients, excuse me, in town deciding between, Del Webb Mineola and Del Webb Oasis. And going that next step of going, okay, we're going to dive into this quality of life. We're going to stay in the Flamingo Crossings area and pretend like what it would be if we lived here at Del Webb Oasis. Like when we, if we lived here and we have dinner and then we decide to go get dessert over at Disney and they pop over and they hang out and then they come back home, that enhanced their quality of life. It's 10 minutes down the road, super fast and easy. And then they went to Mineola to see if building in that area, because they love the topography of that area. That was amazing and a beautiful view. They would love that. That enhances quality of life, right? That peacefulness, imagining your cup of coffee or your glass of tea or lemonade or beverage of your choice, looking at that beautiful, vast vista in front of you. But the other quality of life that then was sacrificed was maybe not being as impulsive to pop over to Disney. It can be a myriad of things that make your life enhanced. That's bad grammar. I'm sorry, Allie. But you get my point. So I think it's really important. Think about where you are. How do you live on a day-to-day basis? What are you hoping to change in your life? Like, there are things like, I cannot wait for it to be a little bit cooler when the weather starts to just get a little bit less humid in the morning. For me, instead of going up to the media room to have my cup of coffee in the morning, to going right out there behind me and sitting out there by the pool where it's a little bit, crisper weather. Think about you. How do you live and how do you want to live? What's a practical, concept of your day-to-day and what is the reality of your day-to-day? And then make some decisions based on that, and not so much the money, not so much, oh, it's got a brown cabinet and I really wanted white. I mean, that's important, but that can be changed. Some of the things that can't be changed should enhance, hopefully, your quality of life. So that's where we went with that. So anyway, okay, Ben, love it. Ben adding his sense of humor. Big consideration. Are your neighbors nice or are they jerks? Right. Well, you know what? Candidly, Ben, interesting that you said that. One of the houses that we saw yesterday, the house was already a no, but what solidified it was that the neighbor did not take care of they had this big extended patio area and the weeds were growing all up. And it showed my clients that the neighbors don't really care about their property. And so you're right. That means sometimes your neighbors are going to make or break it as well. Sometimes you don't get to know that though until it's a little bit too late. But anyway, okay. I don't know what Elizabeth just typed. Was that Elsie, honey? Was Elsie? Elsie sent that comment. Okay, very good. Tell Elsie that Mimi said good morning, and that's okay. And Shafiq has joined us. Good morning. Okay, so did I miss any questions? I kind of got off on my whole...
Garrett had a question.
Garrett had a question. Garrett. Hello, Garrett. from Wales. Where is he? I don't know where he is. Hold on.
It was way back in the thing.
All right, hold on. There he is. Oh, there we go. Geraint, am I right in believing some parts of Orlando has had an invasion of iguanas? Maybe in South Florida, but not here.
They definitely have them in South Florida.
They definitely have them.
And they definitely are moving kind of north.
Yeah, yeah.
The super icky thing is this is python hunt season in South Florida because people get pythons. And so,
What?
those of you not in Florida,
I don't
people
know
buy pythons and then they don't want pythons anymore because they get really big. And so they just go release them into the Everglades. So then the state puts a bounty on pythons. This is true. And then people go out and hunt pythons and capture them and bring them in for sometimes it's like $10,000, whatever.
Wow.
So don't get a python and then don't release your python into nature.
Yeah. Yikes. Oh my gosh. By the way, I missed a few people. Crystal popped in. Gina Buckley. Hi, Gina. Allison Russo. There's a lot of you that popped in. So what happens when we are in the morning when we start? You guys are all saying good morning, and then I'm popping in, and the more I type good morning to each of you, it keeps scrolling up. So sometimes I can't catch up with people that may have popped in. So my apologies.
She says yes, there was an article and that iguanas have come to Central Florida.
Really interesting. Oh my goodness.
No, thank you.
Yeah. No thanks. Are iguanas what we saw at the Bahamas when we went out on that boat tour?
Yes. Yeah, there was a whole island of iguanas.
whole island of iguanas.
Iguanas are also when they have a freeze in South Florida, they fall out of the trees.
Yeah. That's not great. Anyway, yikes. Okay. All right, moving on. Let's go to what am I going to do? Oh, you know what? I do want to mention this. So just as a reminder, we're doing our scholarship. This one? Yep, we have our scholarship on our little flyer. And here's what's fantastic about where we live. This is amazing. I'm not going to say who, where, what, when, or why. I'm not going to say who, what, when, where, or why. I'm going to tell you what they said. I was out yesterday. In fact, Lisa and Steve, it was when we were out in that community and I ran in to go have a potty break. That one. I was talking to somebody in there, and that person said, "Hey, we got your postcard." Hence this. They got their postcard, and they said, "I saw what you're doing about that scholarship at the high school, and I would like to contribute to that." Can you believe that? So I don't even know if that's ever going to come to fruition, and that doesn't matter. The point is, what a fantastic community we have of people that want to support each other. And the fact that someone randomly comes up and says, "Hey, we saw that scholarship that really resonated with me. We'd like to contribute."
We got our first entry, by the way.
Huh?
We got our first entry.
We got our first entry?
Yep.
Oh
I haven't read it yet. But.
Okay, I'm so excited. Oh, see? And by the way, I will say the one thing I wish we would get a little bit more from, and I don't know, we could ask Daryl and Jen to get Javon's thing, is I feel like the schools should do a little bit more. Why did that keep popping up? Sorry there, Rosemary. The school could do a little bit more about making sure that the students are aware of it.
Yeah, last year I sent something to the English teachers, but the websites are funny because it gives you a number in the email address, not their name, and so you send it, and then nobody ever wrote back because I was like, it'd be a great senior English project. Write your essay and enter for a scholarship.
Yeah, but. That's okay. No worries. Anyway, all right, let's move on because I got some other fun stuff like what I'm watching. All right, so this is funny because I've been struggling finding something that's keeping my attention. So first of all, I watched the Lacey Peterson documentary. Devastating, horrible. I remember when that was happening, and the documentary was amazing because it filled in some. Well, first of all, it brought back a lot of that emotion for sure. But it was interesting because there's a lot of stuff that the documentary presented that I didn't know about, which I think is interesting. Hence why you do documentaries. I tried, Eric actually recommended Slow Horses and Bad Monkey. I'm sure both are great, but I did about 30 minutes or the first episode of each of those. And it didn't grasp. It didn't grasp me or my attention. I love Vince Vaughn like a lot. His sense of humor everything. I love him. And he was great in this. There's just something about it that just wasn't working for me. Maybe later, it's one of those things I might just go revisit again later when I'm in a different mindset. Still watching Designated Survivor. Same thing. I'm like, well, it's kind of like, I'll keep watching it, but I'm not obsessed with going to watch the new episode. So I started the Blue Ribbon Baking Championship, and I think I'm on episode 3. So I'm excited about that one. That's kind of fun. It also reminds me how I don't know anything about baking. Like, it's just amazing. It's okay. It's all right. It's fine. My family doesn't mind. We're not a big sweets person. But I will say,
we don't mind at all.
You don't mind. We're not big sweets. We're not. Anyway, but I will
Big
say,
Sweets was my nickname in college.
Jeez, good Lord. But we did have, in fact, where did I put it? I don't think I put it anywhere. One thing is I am watching is it the History of Witches? I don't know. Something came on and it started today. So I watched the first episode of that on Netflix. I don't know. Jury's out, but I'm drawn to it at the moment. There's it's a little bit of the vampire witches demons thing. I don't know. I'm going to give it a try. I think there's a couple seasons or 3 seasons of that. So I only did 1 episode because, again, early morning, 2 big tumblers of coffee. So anyway, all right. So, but if you've got something, please suggest it. I struggle sometimes. I'm so tired of scrolling through the same things, and sometimes I'll go to something and then I have to pay to rent it, but it's free on another one, and it just honestly it's overwhelming. So I just keep returning to Netflix. So if you've got something, my taste is vast. So throw it at me and let's see if I watch it. All right. There was something else I wanted to mention because we forgot to show you this. So in our pool day that we had, this was a Father's Day gift for Eric that we finally, the dogs, what are you doing? The Father's Day gift that we finally got up. So this is a directional sign. If you've ever been out to just, I don't know, anywhere, beaches or resorts, sometimes they have these really fun signs that are kind of distressed and they have like the directions pointing how far away things are. I saw this on Etsy. If you're interested, there's several people that make them, but I will tell you, this person was amazing. They got these to me very quickly when I submitted the order. They said, hey, I'm going to do this real fast, so check your email, approve them, because I'm getting ready to go to Greece, and I'd love to get these to you before I leave. And so I'm not kidding. They were to me like so fast. Unfortunately, it took a long time for us to finally get them going because it's just the signs that they do, not the post, and that was the other thing. But if you look, we have, Disney up top, how close we are to Disney, and then the Bahamas. That's Eric and I. We love the Bahamas. Treehouse, Deering, JMU, Lim, and Yorktown, which is where our family started. I'm from Virginia Beach. Eric,
Treehouse is what Forrest calls his house.
Yeah. Stop it. And then, so basically, that's where our kids are, and we'll add them as we need them. So anyway, they're pretty cool. And so we put it in a big, what do you call them? It was like the beer barrels or the wine barrels, wine barrel, and cement in the post. And it was a little bit more of a project than I thought it was going to be, but ultimately we got it up, and I love it. It fills in that little spot back there for us.
So. Have actual breaking news.
Actual breaking news.
Amy, I'm here on the other side of the counter. This doesn't have much to do with real estate or whatever. It just came across my phone, so I thought I'd say Phil Donahue died. So,
Phil Donahue.
Yeah. So is the caller there? We'll say that in his honor.
Oh,
what a great.
no.
This is a solid guy. So I just figured I'd have my microphone and be like, "Is the caller there?" If you don't know Phil Donahue, if you're not from here in the States, if you are, you know who that is.
Wow.
So yeah, great talk show host, and I just got noticed that he passed away. So
he was. He was pretty old.
Rest
though,
in, 88, I think.
88.
Yeah.
Aww.
So rest in peace. Phil
Rest in
Donahue.
peace, Phil Donahue. Aw.
And on that note,
Oh my goodness. On that note, great. Daryl says, we're on it. We'll be sure to post the scholarship on the high school parent page. Yay, there you go. Jazz, it's important. I'll make sure everybody knows. Thank you, Daryl.
Yeah, Jen said they'll post on the senior parent group.
Oh, good. Yes, thank you, Jen. Perfect. Yeah. We just want kids to know about it. I just think it's amazing that it's a great opportunity. I know it's $1,000, and I know in the grand scheme of things there's higher amounts of scholarships, but that covers books.
You know what $1,000 is? It's $1,000.
It's $1,000. I know. Well, I'm just saying when you think in the terms of your college for that semester or for that first year is I don't even know how much it would be, but Sure, $1,000. I always say, just think about that for books. Think about that for a meal plan or whatever. Yes.
Garrett wants us to put Cardiff Wales on the sign.
You know what? We love Wales.
Put a dragon on.
You know what? Though we should, because that when we did our England, Ireland, Wales trip.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm on to you. Okay. All right. I love it. And then Jane says, "LOL." Very good. Very, very, very good. All right. I don't know if I got everything. I think I did. Do we have any questions? One of the things that I forget. Hold on, that's my phone dinging at me. Oh, wait, I was going to tell you this. This is one thing that I think is important. So we're going back to listings. I'm going to put those up real fast. Listings.
Which also Mrs. Primrose, by the way. So we have a townhome listing. It's not on that graphic.
Right. We have Primrose and Mandevilla.
Yes.
Yeah, so there's 2 more we need to add to this. So we have our listings. As we said, we're starting to get a little bit of pickup of traffic. We did a because you have the bar one on Misty Hills is on a separate page, but there's more listings than these. This is just the same slide that we had before. But anyway, slide, is that what you call it? Yeah. I'm thinking like an old slide projector.
You were going to tell them.
That's what I'm getting ready to do. Yeah. So anyway, we have our beautiful Ashby floor plan, the really beautiful large 1-story in Estates at Lakeview Preserve. It's a gated section within a gated section there in Winter Garden. Beautiful, really large 1-story floor plan. Beautiful, beautiful dual master. This one is in Watermark, and this one is the dual master Lafayette. Fantastic. We say it's the house of twos. You literally could have 2 families up and down because it's got all of the components. Same thing, by the way, for the neighbor here on the screen, the big Talashe Whopper. That is a big, beautiful home by Dreamfinders. Again, has an opportunity to have multi-generational living. Really large house. So if you're looking for larger square footage, that's a beautiful one in the Talashe community. Groveland, we still have this one in Groveland, a 4-bedroom, 2-bath home. Nice that it's a 4-bedroom. Huge backyard. Dr. Phillips 1-story. We're going to talk about that one in a second. And then we have a Davenport home. It says investment, and I don't want you to think that you have to purchase it as an investment property, but it is zoned in a short-term rental community, so you're going to notice that there are going to be some short terms around it. Now, I want to go back to this one, the Dr. Phillips 1-story. So of all of the homes, that one has had just an insane number of showings. Throughout the course of this, we had a lot of questions about what's the age of the roof. And I was like, well, ask the owner. She's like, I don't know. I think the previous owner had the AC replaced and the AC replaced before my seller now purchased it. I did not help her when she originally purchased it. And candidly, I don't think she was advised very well because she didn't know what she didn't know. And that's part of our job as agents, is to let you know what you need to ask, or to check what we need to ask, or ask it for you. And that was a big one. So long story short, we had a lot of foot traffic, a lot of good interest, but a lot of questions about the age of the roof. So ultimately we had to do some digging because it wasn't as easy to find in public records pulling the permit as it typically would be. Found out that, that roof is pretty old. So we went ahead and made the decision. She's paying for it. I'm not paying for it. Replacing the roof. The roof has actually been replaced now. The inspection on that is today. And because of that, we're going to actually be raising the price of the home. So we'll talk about that, Eric. We need to get that taken care of today. But over the course of this past week, we had a realtor show the property a couple of times. Realtor had been in communication with me about, hey, my clients like it. What are we thinking? Blah, blah, blah. They came in a little bit lower. And I said, hey, look, we're going to have to stick to this price because the new roof is going on. And candidly, our plan is that we're going to raise the price once the new roof has been put on the home. And so they came up to asking price. We're like, fantastic. So we get the offer. We sign the offer. We are in a legal binding contract. It has been ratified. It has been, like, the sellers have signed, the buyers have signed. Every party involved has signed. And I'm not kidding, about 2 hours later, he calls me back and says, you know what, they've had a change of heart. I'm like, in 2 hours? Like, you submitted the offer yesterday. And he's like, yeah, they want, and this was the reason. And by the way, this is all valid. They were within their rights during the timeline. It's just frustration, and here's why. This home does not have a pool. It does not say that it has a pool. there's never been a pool mentioned other than they said, is there room to build a pool? We're like, absolutely. There's definitely room to build the pool, and there's accessibility to build a pool, and it's already fenced in. So that's great. And so they canceled the contract because they could not build a pool, or because they didn't want to have to build a pool. Now, if you ask Jim, it only takes 4 months. But but in all seriousness, that's frustrating. Again, they are within their rights, and I know the realtor was upset too. So I'm not so mad at anybody. But for you as a buyer, please understand, when you get to the point of officially submitting an offer, you need to do so with the full intent of moving forward to the end of the process, unless something comes back during that inspection period on that inspection that gives you pause, gives you concern, valid reasons to cancel. I've had clients cancel during that inspection period. I totally get it. And again, we're not mad at them for canceling. It's just the reason that they canceled because they didn't want to have to build a pool. But that was something you knew way ahead of time. So that's the frustration there. So do yourself, do your realtor, do all the people around you a big favor. And when you do get to that point of wanting to submit an offer on a property, be completely thoughtful about it. I use that word a lot, thoughtful. And I mean that. Give it thought. Go back to our word of the day, quality of life. How is this home going to enhance it? What are the challenges of this home? What are the wonderful attributes of this home? What's the best part of this home? What's the least favorite part of the home? How is that going to affect you? And then submit your offer with full thoughtfulness and understanding that once you sign and the seller sign, you are under contract. And at this point, we need an official legal document to cancel it, which they still have not sent me. But it's a release and cancellation. So you've got signatures, that's a legal binding contract. So now we have to go through the legal parameters to cancel it. So anyway, thinking about that, just wanted to share that story, because we are all about sharing stories and real life situations, and how that we can learn from that, how that can affect you, how it can make all of us work, think, act differently in real estate in general. We say it all the time. Every home, every buyer, every scenario is different. It is unique. You cannot say, well, my neighbors did this, or that person got a great deal on the lot premium discount. Well, that doesn't always apply to everyone. You don't know the scenario, the situation with that, or just everything is going to be different. So use your realtor, use their experience, let them guide you, because as Conway Twitty says, everything I do is because of you, to keep you safe with me. And so with that, that's probably a good way to finish the show. But it is a good way. Did anything pop up? I think we're good. Yes. Jane says, feel better, Eric. Yes, absolutely. We are going to make sure I get him. He kind of keeps, he keeps doing this. It's like he feels great and then he doesn't feel great. And then he feels great and then he doesn't feel great. So we're going to make sure we get this figured out because we need you, dear. All right. Okay, guys. So with that, we're a little bit early today. You know what? It's because I talked 5 times as fast. Because
this is the target. This is the target for coffee time, by the way.
I know.
So this is
Eric
good.
always says keep it under an hour, but but I love you guys and we just chat. So what's up? What's going on? I'm just kidding. Next week.
I just pushed that for fun.
All right. So my goal, here's a goal. This is me trying to commit to you to give myself some discipline. I'm hoping, by the way, what you can't smell is my fall candle over here, and it is called Cranberry Gala Apple. It is really, really yummy. It is Bath and Body Works. I love leaves, Leaves, leaves for the fall. And yes, I'm starting to get a little fall-ish. So I know it's August, but I'm still getting there, and we can do what we want because we live in Florida and we don't really get the seasons, so we get to pick them. So next week, I'm hoping to have a little bit of a fall thing happening back here. Just gonna check.
I want to preview something because I just decided what I want for my birthday. For my birthday,
your birthday is in December.
January. Thanks. For my birthday, I want us to end coffee time with the Donnie and Marie sign off. So we're gonna plan for that. I'm excited about it because I bet we could do it. It'd be fun.
You just like to sing, and I don't.
I know, but that's part of the fun because I'll make it. May tomorrow be a perfect day. No, I'm just not gonna do it.
All right. As always, guys, I can't sing it. I'm not gonna sing. All right, my days of singing are over. All right, guys. As always, we appreciate you guys so much. Thank you. I have to tell you, when I sign on in the morning, I see all of you people there, and you're already talking and you're saying hello. It just hits me in the heart every single time. So we really do appreciate you guys. As always, please stay safe, stay well. Remember, we love you from the bottom of our hearts. We really, truly do.
Good night, everybody. That's the Donnie Murray song.
Love you guys. Bye.